So yoga for holistic health, as you can see, it's body, mind, soul, heart. We are combination of all these things. We English is okay. English हिंदी दोनों करेंगे, दोनों mix करेंगे. English more English. ठीक है ना? So what we see as ourselves, actually there are so many layers of us, so many parts of us, so many planes of us. That is the first thing which yoga study starts you to make understand. You're not one, there are so many inside us, and most of the times the major challenge is how to synchronize and harmonize all those parts of us. And if we are able to do that, that is what yoga is for the holistic health, and it's unless we try, it's going to be difficult. And that's why this atomic model. So right from the our Upanishad say, Anu Raniyan Mahato Mahiyan. That's a beautiful saying from Kathopanishad. That means that which we are searching is smallest than an atom, and yet it is larger than the entire universe, because it is connecting both. The microcosm is always connecting with the macrocosm. That is what Swamiji said, Swami Vivekananda said. So coming to the point where we are trying to now understanding this holistic approach to the health through the yoga, as the session says. First and foremost, we should understand why it has become a bit difficult, why there should be so much problem of understanding this, because if you look from Western as well as Eastern point of view, first we'll see from the Western point of view, and starting from Plato and Socrates and all. So Plato said famously that human psyche, if you see, there are two horses, one is the instinct and other is the emotions, and it's very difficult to control these two, it's like controlling two horses at a time. One is your instincts, other is your emotions, right? Am I getting it right? So how to control both of them, very difficult, Plato was telling. And the chariot driver, the one who is driving this chariot is Sarathi, he is your mind. If you control your mind, the mind has got the reins of these two horses. If you can control your instincts, if you can control your emotions, your health will be, mental health, physical health, every health will be good. But these horses, as you all know, they are not going to be controlled so easily, You have to really उसको लगाम पकड़ के खींचना पड़ता है हमेशा, तो बड़ा कठिन काम है. And same thing has been expressed by many people. I'm just quoting few of them because of the time. But Carl Sagan, one of the great person who has written he's famous as an astrophysicist and all that area. But he has talked about the three-layer brain in his book Dragons of Eden. In fact, this idea of three-layer brain has been age-old idea in the Western world. That our brain has got three layers and it goes in that. But Carl Sagan continued that. Now, in recent times, people have realized that there is something missing in this entire paradigm or idea which they were propagating, whether Carl Sagan or Plato or all these people, great people, and of course not missing the Freud and Jung and Adler and all these people who came in between, and their famous theories of Pavlov and what all. But something is missing. What is that missing? He said, if we can say the brain is in three layers, but we must not forget that it is evolving. It's not stationary, the process has not ended, it is evolving. And as from animal we evolved to the human being, similarly the brain also got evolved from the single species to the complicated people, we got evolved to the Homo sapiens, till we got this particular present structure. So Lisa Feldman Barrett, she has written about this, how the development of sensory systems and how it led to the emergence of brain, because we are all considering this psycho and physical continuum which we are talking. So there is a psychological part, there is a physiological part, and there is also spiritual part. Now we have to understand where that spiritual thing is coming in. That is another riddle which has been really tormented people. कि ये spirit आता कहाँ से? मतलब from where the consciousness is coming in this entire system? Because otherwise there is simply some brain cells and brain matter and nerves and this and all. So from where that mind comes in, that whether mind is same as the body, or is it the function of the body reactions or some neurons firing here and there, from where that thought is coming. If we know the thought, then only we can think of controlling the thought. If we know where the intelligence is, then we can control the intelligence. That reins have to be, as the Plato famously said, you have to control by using your rational mind. The question is now, where is that rational mind, from where the reason comes, from where the brain, if we do not know, how we are going to control even the instincts and emotions? If we don't control instinct, emotions and all, health is not going to be working the way we want to work. So that's why all this, earlier we said this lower part, just very interesting thing, and afternoon session Dr. Ambekar will be taking more into that, so I will not deal more in this part because he is from medical point of view, but I'm just putting the point in the beginning that the lizard brain is that brain stem and the cerebellum, and then there is a mammal brain which is in the center, there's a limbic system, and then there is a human brain which is cerebral cortex. So as it got evolved, they thought, this is their theory, I'm not saying this is the ultimate theory, but this is how one of the very dominant theories that it started like it was the the species in the water, then the reptiles, and then it came to the four-legged animals and the two-legged animal. So therefore we said that yes, brain also got developed from the lizard brain to the mammal brain to the human brain, how it has evolved, therefore more complex and more you can say difficult to understand. But in spite of all these advances in neuroscience and genetics and all modern science, the question of how brain got evolved, from where the thought comes, why the emotions are so tormenting, why there is mismanagement between emotions, body and your instincts and your rational mind. That is still a very difficult question even now. The riddle is not the riddle of the brain, the riddle of the life is not yet solved, we can see. And therefore it is still there is a scope for more discussion. That is where yoga, that is where Indian philosophy, that is where Indian darshanas can come. And therefore, if you look at this particular idea, the dominant idea in the West is basically a materialist idea, Jadavad, and there is also an idea which is more discussed with the rationalism. So rationalism and materialism, these are the two dominant ideas we all know. Science is the God, and it should be the God because it has brought out the entire humanity out of the medieval crisis and the dark ages. Definitely we have done great work by bringing science into it, and we are all eating the fruits of that. But then some ideas are still very difficult to gulp, because they had the problem in the beginning that whether all the species are having life, mind and consciousness, or only few of them are having, whether both the genders are having same thing or female have different, and these are problems they initially faced, and they could not come out of this, that what can be the idea behind it, from where the mind enters into the body. So whether it enters from somewhere outside or it is coming from inside. So these are problems we have to first come out, otherwise we can't think of a complete body, mind, psyche and the Atma or the soul, how to harmonize them. You see, to harmonize, first of all you should understand what are the components. कल कोई कहेगा कि इसका सबका असेंबली करना है, लेकिन पार्ट्स कौन सा है वो तो बताओ. Let me first understand what are the parts, then I will try to assemble and properly harmonize them. So therefore, this materialism and reason was dominating. Till now it dominates, unfortunately. Now I have been student of AI in my doctorate and further. I realized that even the modern AI scientists are still grappling with the same problems which the old people were doing. Technology has evolved. We see wonderful fruits of artificial intelligence everywhere. But problem we are saying that they are still in that grip of from where we can bring out that problem of consciousness, problem of mind, where to bring it exactly into the material world, material construction. So we try to make believe that yes, this is looking like an intelligence, this is looking like something machine is intelligent. We say this machine is making poems also. But if you look carefully, some machines are machine art. But if you go carefully and go into the depth of it and try to understand how it has been made, 99% of times it is going to be just a make-believe story that already some poems or some ideas are fit inside them, already some art pieces are fitted inside them, and it is only combination of different things so that you feel like, oh, something has come. You must have seen, if you give just a description, today the AI is able to generate an image for you. But if you carefully see closely, Radha Krishna's image is there, and if you closely see, then it has got 6 fingers. Somewhere the thumb is equal to the small finger. So it's not able to grip with the intelligence, I am saying. It is not able to go to that depth where even a human child can be better than many ideas where the machine cannot work. See, a human child knows that mother is not happy. So I have to change my stand now. Strategy will badalna padega, because that he immediately changes what he wants to see. They have got that smartness. Inbuilt, we know how to cope up with the different situations, which machines are not able to do. So when this evolution idea came in the West, and Darwin and Lamarck and all these, they did this great work, they faced a lot of problems there because this idea was not fitting with their other dominant thought, that how evolution can happen from single species to this and all. They could not do that. But when this idea was put into the Indian perspective or Indian masses, you will find that we never had any problem with Darwin because we believe in evolution. For us, it is just Matsavtara to Kurmantara to Varavara to Narsya and all, they come up to the Maryada Purushottam Ramana. So for us, Dashavtara is not just a Puranic story or a construction from some fable or some myth and all. In fact, mythology term itself is a misleading term. We have taken it as part of our psychological and sociological understanding that things are evolving. Even God is also evolving in a different ways. He comes in different forms, and he can come in all the rasas and all the forms it can come. Even he can come as a Varaha. What a flexibility of mind that even if he comes as a Varaha, we are ready to accept him as a God. So that's the greatness, and therefore, for us it's not a problem to understand this triunion brain and evolution and all this part of consciousness studies and all, because this consciousness evolving is right from there in our entire Veda Upanishads and epics and Puranas and all. That is important thing to understand. And very beautiful understanding given to this by some of the Western scholars also. And they say, William Huxley, if I remember correctly, but those people who are now working for Bertrand Russell and Huxley, they had this idea that they say, now the evolution is not going to be biological. Biological evolution is over. There was a tail, it has not been there. There were some horns have gone. Biologically, we have got that frame, the body which was the, in Upanishadic language, it is Sakrutam Bateti. Now this is optimum. Now this is fine. इसके आगे बॉडी में और कुछ ज़्यादा करने की जरूरत नहीं है. It is working cool. But they said evolution is not over. The same thing Sri Aurobindo also said, that evolution is not over, because you can't think that human beings is the last possibility of this. There can be many more possibilities. So we have to open our mind first to that what can be that next stages of it. And therefore he said that up to the human beings the evolution is biological, but after this stage it's going to be psychosocial. Now the evolution is going to be psychosocial. It is going to be in a very different way. So that's why we have to work more on psychology, sociology, holistic ideas about it, and yoga. Because the evolution is not going to be, what is yoga basically? Yoga chitta vritti nirodha, we all know, right? Controlling the chitta. And yoga mana prashamana upaya, yoga vasishta says. So these are all ideas. But then fundamental part is, evolution is going to be natural. If we don't do anything also, we are going to get in that track of evolution. But if you practice spirituality, if you practice yoga, if you practice all these things what we are discussing today, then it's going to be accelerated. That's the only thing. We can accelerate it. Otherwise it's going to happen. In its natural course we are going to get evolved. Ye janam nahi to agla janam, we all believe in the rebirths. So plenty of time is there. But do you want to accelerate? Then there is a psychological part of it, there is sociological part of it, there is also internal part and external part. So we have to discuss that entire thing. So that's why we said, now it is going to be psychosocial. And we are not the last part. Now let us come to this Plato's idea of 2 horses and the lagam and that mind controlling. Curiously, Indian scriptures are also having similar idea. If you look at the Vedas also, there is always mention of Ashwa and Go. I won't go in that detail today because time is constrained, but there are beautiful psychological basis of entire Vedic literature. What do you mean by Ashwa? What do you mean by Go? People mistake it as just casually cow and horse. It's not enough. I mean, it's just a surface understanding of it. But coming back from that to the Upanishad, just leaving Vedic part, I'm tempted to go in that, but time is a constraint. But if we go to the Upanishadic part, in Kathopanishad, there is a beautiful symbol of a chariot, horses, and the chariot driver, and who is sitting in that chariot. And the same image has been used by Bhagavad Gita. So India's understanding of holistic being is having this one of the central concept, one model which we are discussing is this model of a chariot. So Ratha is your body, and then the horses are all your indriyas which are trying to go always outside to the Vishayas. All the worldly things are trying to attract you. Eyes will start seeing the things different ways, ears will start, skin has the touch and all these things. All Panchendriyas are going to go towards their objects of gratification, objects of their understanding or reception. So these objects are your world. These indriyas are your horses, and your mind is actually these reins which are trying to control those horses. And these horses which are controlled by the rein, who is holding that? Who is the thing, who is the person who is holding this? He is that charioteer. He is the driver. Okay? And who is sitting in that Ratha is the body, then who is sitting behind is your Atman, which is sitting there, the spirit. Your soul is sitting behind, the charioteer is driving it. He controls all the reins in his hand. And then most beautiful thing here is that for us he is the Partha Sarathi. And when Partha Sarathi is driving your chariot, what is there to success and what is there to failure? That's a beautiful saying that अभी क्या रखा है, यश क्या है, अपयश क्या है, वो चला के लेके जा रहे थे. Krishna is there who is driving us. So that is the idea which India has got, dominant idea. As compared to now you see the Plato's and other ideas, this is a more comprehensive and the complete idea of it. And therefore we have many such things. If you look at the, in this understanding of our planes and parts as we are talking one by one. So Bhagavad Gita has got beautiful shloka for this. Of course, Parthasarathi and Arjuna is the major model which Kathopanishad has given, and afterwards Bhagavad Gita has exemplified it. The entire Gita has been told by the Sarathi to the person who is sitting behind.